Come hang with the hippie, come enjoy the good vibe. Smoke up in the green room, smoke your worries away. In the green room, we'll stay in the green room. If you wanna get high, and you got the time, come hang with the hippie, come enjoy the good vibe. Smoke up in the green room, smoke your worries away. In the green room we'll stay, in the green room.
This production is brought to you by DHBN, WTHC Radio, and Stoner Records.
WTHC, good evening, everybody. Welcome in to another episode of The Green Room.
That time again, huh?
Yeah, man. It's
nice.
been coming around great lately. I've been loving it. We've got some fantastic interviews that have just happened.
Absolutely.
Tonight is going to be another great one. We have more to come this month. I'm very excited. They're coming around nicely. Good evening, everybody. I see James and Karen and T-Bro over there. Welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We got our good friend Granny. Granny, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
Hi, Rich. What? Oh, is that
hey, Rich.
What? That's Stone Cold Steve Austin, if I know that. Right? What? Yeah, there he I know what he's doing. What? I got
what?
What? All right. Anyway, welcome in, everybody. Thank you so much. Granny's got her shades on. Yeah, I see that. So we have a fantastic show tonight. Granny, well, first off, Granny and this young lady, Lainie, right? Lainie,
yeah.
Been friends for quite some time now, right? I don't know how many years. Go ahead.
Oh, geez, yeah, quite some time. Actually, I don't even remember how long ago I met her. That's one of the things that drew me to her was Operation Heal.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the medicine, that not remembering thing, right? That's just
no. That's got nothing to do with it. No.
There are no side effects to this medicine. It is amazing.
No, it's just my age. I'm a granny, remember?
Right, you're a granny. I'm getting close.
That old timers thing.
I'm getting close to being a grandpa. So yeah.
All right. Yeah, old timers.
Tell us about Lainie. Tell us how you guys, how you met, Operation Heal. How'd you guys meet?
We met on TikTok, actually. We met on TikTok, and I was doing a lot of talking about marijuana, RSO, different things that could help people with PTSD.
You must have been in Mandarin or something, because I couldn't say any of that stuff over there without getting kicked off. But that's another story.
Right, but it's like we found different ways to work around it.
Sort of
we have this whole little language in my morning lives that we use over on TikTok.
Yeah.
You can't if you say 420 too much on air, you get banned. Anyways, that's besides the point. So there's Lainie, and she's like, hey, do you know about this, and this? And then I found out about the vet packs that she makes through Operation Heal. To get RSO products to veterans who have PTSD, and they can't necessarily afford it for themselves. And she said, every purchase from me goes, the same thing, exact thing goes to a veteran in need. And I was like, I'm your girl. Like, I'm a customer. Boom, right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right. All right. Well, without further ado, let's bring up Lainie. Lainie, come on up. Oh, let me make sure. I broke my headset again. Damn it.
I don't even see your headset.
Oh, it fell. It fell off. Yeah.
That must be why it's broken.
Hi, Lainie.
What's up?
There's the lady. Hi, beautiful.
How are you, sweetie? Nice to meet you.
I'm amazing. Thank you. And likewise, of course.
I'm honored to meet you. I've heard tons about you, and I look forward to our
You're
discussion.
not worthy. I'm more honored.
No, come on, cut it out. Cut it
How,
out.
literally the first puppet ever that's interviewed me or talked to me, even for that matter, that I haven't controlled.
Well, then I am absolutely honored to be the first to take your cherry. Yes.
I appreciate the opportunity. You guys are awesome. And I love the show, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. So, Lainie, I got your package of love, and we'll leave it at that. The stuff is amazing. I've had such a bad bellyache. I did try the hot chocolate. Let's talk hot cocoa. Why don't we talk hot cocoa? I don't know.
Old Ethel's Hot Beaver.
Yeah.
One of my favorites.
Hold on. Let me ask Granny really quick because she knows you better. Let's see how should we break this down? I don't want to not break it down correctly. Like, should we go in a certain order? What do you think, little skunk?
I'd like to hear about the veteran stuff personally.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's
That's
overall.
what I want to have her start at the beginning and tell us why she started to do the vet packs.
All right, I agree. Let's start there, Lee. I'm all about the RSO. I'm all about all of it. So let's go there. Yeah, I just didn't know
So
where.
that's kind of the sad side of the story,
Okay.
And my son's brother, U.S. Marine Corps Sergeant Keith D. Yennie II, which was my stepson for about almost 6 years. Long story short, he served with the Marines. He and I were kind of estranged. His dad's kind of a dick, so let's leave it at that. So we hadn't seen each other in a long time. He came back around. We reunited, and I have PTSD. I have CPTSD, and I have PTSD from a very abusive relationship later in life, outside of childhood. So we kind of joined there. He had now, as an adult, an understanding of what PTSD is like. He was going through it himself, and we right away found out that we were both medicating the same way, which was with cannabis, and very successfully. This was before my knowing about RSO. Even this was I knew about it, but I hadn't tried it at all. So he had come to work with me, and we spent a good couple of years together, sharing in our successes. And I watched the plant transform him. I was working for a pothead at the time myself. It was it became legal during our reunition, whatever the fuck that word.
Reunification.
Reunification. I love it. So it became legal after we had been, but it was illegal early on. And I worked for someone who had a beautiful garden in a strange place, and part of my salary was, of course, flowers, and so I shared and made sure that he had enough of what he needed. Once he really got away from alcohol and into the plant, I watched him change completely, and the person he was deep inside, the kid he was with all of those dreams and skateboarding and all the things he liked to do, was showing more and more. So the value was there in keeping him on the plant. The place we were working for closed, and that man went away, and that flower connection went away, as did my income, which was substantial at the time, went away. And right around that time, he was also going through some really, really, like, he loaded his plate way over full, and he had a lot going on in his personal life. He was getting his college degree that year, 2022. But I was unable to provide plants, and he was financially unable to afford them the way he needed to. And so he started drinking more. And I am thoroughly convinced that his dive back into alcohol, pushed his brain to a place that it would have never gone with the plant. So once I got to learn a little bit more about RSO and sampled with it myself, I was like, wow, if I thought weed was great for PTSD before, RSO is like, it's like, the
Yeah.
gates open, the lights come
I,
through.
can
You
I
start
interrupt
to
for 1 second?
absolutely.
I'm gonna say that I'm experiencing that right now, really and truthfully, for the first time in the last. I would say in the last month, I've been dabbling. I guess you would call it, or more than dabbling. But I've been playing with RSO, and I really am starting to enjoy it. I've been recommending it to people. It brings that childhood high back. You can get that childhood high back
And I
if
think what that really is not so much a high as being free. What are we as children? We're the most free probably that we'll ever be in a way, mentally anyway. And
right.
I think it allows your brain to function back in that pure state. It gives you clarity. If you have PTSD, I don't know your situation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So then it clears your mind in such a way that you're like, oh my God, this makes so
Yeah,
much sense
like I
now.
said, I'm very new to it, but well, we could talk about that. But I want to talk about Operation Heal. So continue doing what you're doing. Go finish your story there. Jump
Okay.
how Operations Heal started. We can talk again about how I abuse RSO. That's something we can talk about
I
later.
don't think there's any such thing, but
Yeah, well, I found my level, and that's we can leave it at that. And my level just
right.
seems to be very. It just
That'll
seems.
change, just so you know.
Will it go down? I hope, because
Well,
I can't.
You'll
I
find a
I
balance.
I very much recommend switching strains,
Oh, I do.
even
I
with
do.
the RSO. So going from one strain to the next will keep that tolerance where it's
Yeah, yeah.
tolerable.
Like I said, we can talk. We can stay after and talk about that for hours.
Okay.
Let's talk about you. Let's talk about Operation Heal.
Yeah.
So April 7th of 2022, Keith gave in to his battle
Yeah,
and became one of the 22 a day. This was made by a veteran here, of our veterans who take their own life. And at that same exact moment, I discovered RSO, and it was kind of heartbreaking in a way. And for someone who I shared every edible with and every success in the plant with, to not have him there and realize that I found the Holy Grail, the answer to our problem, was really sad for me. But then because I was on the RSO, I was able to very clearly understand that I needed to go forward with not only what he was doing, but to make it about introducing as many veterans as I could to the RSO side of things, and at the same time, when they couldn't afford it, give them a way to get what they needed to keep their head clear and keep them away from alcohol.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't name Operation Heal, and I'm ashamed to say I don't remember who did, because I saw it in one of the comments on one of my early videos when I was first ordering plant medication to veterans on the talk.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's exactly it, man. That's exactly it. And the Operation Heal mission, everybody can be part of Operation Heal in their own way. As is to
Yeah,
to
I'm
share
not a
the plant.
veteran. I'm not a veteran, but I feel as though I'm in the middle of Operation Heal
You're a
myself.
first responder.
Oh yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. So
Yeah.
so sharing is caring, and that's my favorite part of it. And it doesn't even have to be a veteran. If you're saving someone from a crisis and showing them value in their life again, and that's basically what this does. It gives them insight again into why it's okay to be here and why it's beneficial to be here, and you all of a sudden want to live again. These are huge changes for people that have been in such a darkness for so long,
Right.
Absolutely.
um
I don't want to dwell on this, but it's a shame because I know other countries just to the north of us that give all of their marijuana to their veterans. Anything left over goes right to their veterans, and they take care of their veterans up there. And I can't understand why we can't do the same. And I've heard rumors, I don't know, but in 640,000 tons of marijuana was burnt in 1 year because it was, destroyed because it was out of date or whatever. Don't quote me on those numbers. I don't remember. Dr. High and I were talking about it quite some time ago, but it was an outrageous amount of marijuana that was being wasted and thrown away that they could be just passing on to our veterans and taking care of our veterans who need it. And it's because we can't make it legal in all or federally legal. It's just a joke. It's a joke.
Well,
but anyway, go ahead, Lainie. I'm sorry.
some of us need to come together better on that,
I agree.
because there is strength in numbers and
I
there
agree.
is power in unification, and unity. And it's super important for us to not be potheads at certain times, right?
Right. There's a difference.
Because it gives them that power over us, like, oh, it's this, or it brings that stigma back, and it tells people, oh, they're just stoners. Like, you have no fucking clue if you've never experienced PTSD and you've never healed your mind for the first time after years and years of suffering, and we put such emphasis on pharmaceuticals, which I have tried every single fucking one. None of them do a thing. They
do. They make you crazier.
Right. They make you sicker. They give you side effects and problems, and then they let you down, like a cheap fucking date. They let you down so hard. But I have my one of my in-laws is I'm a pharmacist, big pharma. She's a doctor.
Okay.
But she leans towards some holistic things. I think in her conscience she knows that there's a darkness lurking there about money and power and control. That's how I see it, and when I was participating in their doctor program, where I went to someone and let them tell me what was wrong with me and then gave me a bottle of crap to take care of it, I was the sickest I've ever been. And I always tell people I was never sick till I went to the doctor, and I didn't go to the doctor for the first 30 years of my life, because I was a farm kid. There was nothing wrong with me. I just
throw some dirt on that, man. You're golden.
Yeah.
Right.
Iodine. Anybody remember iodine? That was what we did.
I hated that shit. Ugh.
Mercurochrome, girl. Mercurochrome.
That was
no.
Stuff.
See, I like.
I don't need mercurochrome. I'm fine. It's all good. I'm fine.
No, but that was so. I was grotesquely disappointed by everything to do with doctors from the minute I started seeing them, pretty much. And I told the last one that I saw, she was a specialist. They told me that I had fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, I had Lyme disease, and all these physical things that are basically destroying people mentally and physically. And I told her, you've given me enough now, so I'm done. I won't be back.
So let me stop you there because we got to play a 420 song, and I apologize. I should have warned you beforehand. At this time, you are able to go to the restroom if you need to or anything like that, because we will be all going down. We play a video. So, and I want to talk to you about that too, though, because so after your doctor, think about this while we're gone. So then you told the doctor no more. Now, is RSO taking care of all that other pains and stuff that you just mentioned? Rheumatoid arthritis, all that?
Every bit of it, and better than anything else.
We'll talk about that when we come back. Let's play our
Sounds
420 song. All right. We'll be back in a couple minutes, guys.
All right.
Oh man, that looks like it's our last one, man.
That is our last one, man.
Good thing we can scrape the pipe, bro. Never gonna be, dank roped again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Gee! Morning at the scrape my pipe. Knew that when I went to bed last night. Had a premonition in my head that I never gonna wake bankrupt again. Jumped on my bike and pedaled downtown on the lookout for the one John Brown. Found him in a corner parking lot smoking spliffs and said, "Here, man, you want to take a hit?" I said, "I'm never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again." Went back home to put the seeds in the soil. Compost recipe from brethren I know. Water pH to 6.1. Yeah, in control of the ebb and flow. Planting seeds, putting flower in my hand so that I will never awake bankrupt again. I said I'm never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 Always bring a flower to my friends. Always connecting to the music of medicine. Always finding ways to sing. Positivity and healing vibes. Always attracting my tribe. Always vulnerable to the tides. Always accountable for my strides. Holding on, not folding beyond. Letting go and letting you know. Bankrupt isn't never gonna be a part of my flow. I said I'm never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 Driving around, I see John Brown and said, "Dead man," him said, "Him never gonna be bankrupt again." I said, "Hey John Brown, can I give you a hand so that you yourself will never be bankrupt again?" I said, never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt Never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 Wah!
All right, and we up. Oh, sorry, Granny. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm totally fine. I just I had to take my hair out.
What you doing your hair? I'm
To the
sorry.
music and my bun came all undone.
All right, I get it.
It
I
happens.
wasn't expecting you to be doing your hair. I turned it off, and
No, it's totally fine. I wasn't expecting to have to do it either.
All right.
I was
Anyway.
just jamming too hard.
I appreciate that. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome back to the green room. You're hanging with the hippie and friends. I got Granny and, of course, Little Skunk down there. And our friend Lainie is here talking about Operation Heal. And Lainie, I know I asked you a question before, but I have no recollection of what it was. So we're going to move on. Triple Acres Healing Farm. Tell me about that. Triple Acres Healing Farm. I don't want to leave that out before we go on, you know?
So, okay. So, I also have this thing for rescuing animals. That's kind of been in the background of my life. Dreams, we'll call it, aspirations. So every animal I have is a rescue, and I wanted to expand on that. I had talked with Keith and with others in the past about using animals as part of therapy for veterans. And then I wanted to give them a place where they could like just chill, because nature, not just the lettuce, but all of nature is very healing. I have a very, very, I don't know what the word is. My property is special. That's all I know, and everybody that comes here says it. You feel very peaceful here. So I wanted to use
It's
that
a
for
magic
good.
glen is what it is.
We have lots of quartz that just pops up out of the ground. We have a very good vibe in the earth here. I grew up here right across the street. I actually used to look over at this place when I was little and fantasize about being here and playing in the snow and weird shit. So this is Triple Acres Healing Farm and Veteran Camping Retreat. No cost to veterans, and really no access to the public unless we do events. But the idea being, and this is, I have to carefully word this because I am under pressure by the oligarch pigs that think they run this town, and they don't like when you do things, with plants for veterans and care more about the earth than their money. When you're that kind of person, you don't get along so well. But basically, if there's someone out there, and we should be ready for this summer, if there's a veteran that needs a place to lay his head, we have some campers we're fixing up, and I want to be able to give them a place, if it's for a month or 3 months or something, to get them off the ground. If it's
Absolutely.
one veteran or 5 veterans. And then, of course, we have the school bus out front, which so part of this is going to be branched out on. We would like to give veterans that are traveling already a place to park and be safe, have their animals. We here and most of our affiliates are animal friendly, so we've begun to link up with others. So we have, you see Hop Frog Delusions in the comments there.
Yep.
That's Schoolies for Veterans. He's an integral part of all of this because Keith's
Awesome.
other dream was to basically take a school bus and turn it into a home for a vet. So they'd have their own place, and for homeless vets
Well,
specifically.
thank you for that. Thank you for that. Absolutely. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
And that's
Always.
so Hop Frog was already doing that. Keith ethereally kind of brought us together, and now he's involved with Keith's mom, who continued his own organization to help veterans. And then we've pulled in other landowners who want to offer their land to veterans. So we're slowly branching this out across the country. We have folks in Oklahoma, Hop Frog is in Texas. We have a group of people in,
Say
I
New
believe,
York over there as
Missouri,
well. Hot box.
New York, and we have Florida, possibly. We have some states we're working on, but we'd like to add more, and we're going to work on that effort. As you can imagine, I kind of took on a lot at once, all of these things kind of at the same time. So it takes me a while. I'm
Great
still a one-man
ideas
band.
all come at once. Great ideas, and they start to roll, and then you're
Right. I
you're
just go
overwhelmed.
with it.
Yeah.
I know
your
it'll all work out.
Just do your best. That's all you can do.
But she's doing amazing. I mean, everything that you're putting together is incredible, and it's out of love. It's out of love, and that's the most beautiful thing of all.
Love is all we need. And
Love.
everybody keeps missing that fucking message. I don't know how else to get it across.
We have talked about that several times, my darling. Yes, we have.
Yes. Rich says he has been there. I have been there, he says.
Rich has been here. Rich came. So we did my first annual Vetsgiving, which is a veteran we host Thanksgiving dinner for veterans, and we're going to make that an annual event. And he came down and we worked on the bus. We did the first ever bus build the same weekend. So we got Rich and a couple other vets here. It was very cool. It was very symbolic in a lot of ways. It was the first one small step for man for us, right? Whether that was fake or real, we don't know, but mine was real. I can tell you that Rich is an outstanding dude. He is a veteran.
Rich was there. Right. I loved all the photos, the videos. It was just,
I'd love to see that stuff. Where can I see all that? Is that somewhere posted?
So it's on my Facebook. You'll see a lot of it. Not Facebook, Instagram. You'll see a lot of it on Triple Acres Farms Instagram.
Is that what we would look up? Triple Acres
Farm. Healing Farm and Farm Veteran Retreat on Instagram.
Okay.
And then Lainie _ the Apothecary on Instagram, but we're linked. You'll see us together.
Dispensary.
And then on TikTok, I'm just at Lainie Live. TikTok is where I kind of started all of this. Instagram is I was using it for work purpose. I don't have much of a following on it. I'm just, a regular chick. My TikTok following
just happened to be really groovy. That's all.
I try to be groovy, man.
Yeah.
That's what we're all supposed to do. We're all just supposed to try to be groovy.
Be happy, man. We only die once, bro.
Right.
Right? Once. Crying out loud. Anyway, all right. So now let's get into the goods. Let's talk about your well, we'll call it medicine. We'll call it medicine.
It is medicine.
It is medicine, and we'll call it that for a lack of better words for the purposes of Facebook or YouTube. So your medicine that you have come up with is amazing.
Well, thank you.
I got to try. I want to enjoy it. So I'm like I was saying before, and I don't want you to get the wrong idea. I use it definitely for. I was a recreational all my life. You know what I mean? I didn't know, but then I realized, and then I didn't know, and then I realized more. Like I used it to get off of some severe drugs. I used it to get off of alcohol. I used it to get off of cigarettes. I've used it to get off of vaping. I've used it to get off of vaping weed cartridges, like
Paint chips.
I find them to be dangerous as well. Anyway, long story short, this RSO thing that I tried it once when I first got my license here in Pennsylvania, and I'm in Pennsylvania, so it's only medical here. All right, so I got my thing. I got it for crazy though. So I'm using it for my head. RSO, I didn't know would work for my head because everybody always told me it would be a body high. You would be more of a body high. But I had my gallbladder taken out. I am a large man. Well, he is. Anyway, and then, so when I take it, they told me take a grain of rice. And I was like, all right. And I went and I took a grain of rice. Well, he did. And there was no results, nothing. It just tasted like shit. And there was nothing. And then the next day he did 2 grains of rice and it was gross, but no, and I really got sad. And I've had edibles prior to that and prior to having my gallbladder out. And I've never really found my level, but I am a heavy smoker of my medicine. So I've been medicating for 40 years and for a very long time, it's been about an ounce of a week, like with no issue, and so I find I have a very strong tolerance. So then, all right. So long story short, I got to back to RSO. I met my little friend over here, Skunky down there. He took RSO one day. We were hanging out, and my man was drooling on himself, and he just had about a piece of rice size stuff, and I was like, "What?" I said, "That shit never even worked for me." And he may have had a little more than a piece of rice, maybe a little, but not much more. And then all of a sudden, it was amazing. And he was like, "I can't believe how great this is." So then I was like, "Well, I want to try this stuff again." So then we got together, him, I, and our other friend, Curly Kell, and we went to a festival somewhere, and we tried it, and wow, it worked. Was that right? No, maybe I tried it before that. Pineapple Express at home. I don't remember. Anyway,
I know we tried it at the festival for sure.
But I did more than I should have. I felt, because at one point, woohoo, I may have seen Jesus.
Right.
I was up there. I was up there pretty high, but I enjoyed it. Now, I don't want to say, I'm not recommending you go out and anybody goes out and abuses it in this way, but it is definitely it. But I felt no pain. My brain was working the way it should be. I wasn't thinking the bad things that think in my head sometimes, and so I love it. I love it. And so now I was at a 0.5 gram, and I know you're going to say, what? But a 0.5 gram is like what my number is. I've been cutting it down a little bit, and I've been finding out that I don't need to necessarily see Jesus, but I can get close. And that's where I'm at, like right now. Like today, I am as close to Jesus as I can get without going past go and collecting $200, if that makes any sense.
I mean, I think that's what you're supposed to do. Bob Marley did call it the God plant, right?
Well, I figured you can't overdose it, right? There's been no proven cases of an overdose. So even if I ate the whole gram,
what is an overdose? Where
I would just go to sleep. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway,
and then you wake up and drink a lot of water.
Yeah, I got cotton mouth right now, really bad.
So here's some things to consider.
Okay, go ahead.
And this is very common. So one person needs a 0.5 grain of rice. The next person needs 17 grains of rice, right? So why? There's a variety of reasons. You mentioned your gallbladder coming out. If you're eating it as an edible, like you're putting it on something and eating that and ingesting it, that may affect it. It is broken. THC itself is broken down by very specific enzymes, both in your stomach and in your liver. So it could be one or the other. It could be a combination of both. I used to get nothing from edibles at all. I took
Me
enzyme
too.
therapy. And that's basically, I just looked up a really good enzyme. I can't remember what enzyme is needed for the THC, but you can find it,
Mhm.
Google has that information. That's where I got it. And then I got an enzyme, I
Right.
think I got it on Amazon,
We're
but
not
that made
doctors, Facebook and
that's right. We're
YouTube.
not,
We're
we're
not
not,
doctors.
I
We are
am
just
not. I tell
talking.
everyone all the time, I have no idea what I'm
We
fucking
don't
doing.
know what we're talking about. Don't
I
trust the
I
word I
I
say.
make this shit up as I go
I
along,
just
and
tell
that's the truth.
everybody I'm a chef. I know what tastes good.
I mean, I
Right.
was classically trained to cook in prison, but it was federal
Right.
prison and it was bougie, but I was behind the wall. It was maximum security. So I do know how to handle a kitchen and I do know how to put shit together. My
Yeah, me
mother,
too. I was a cook for a while, for most of
my
my life.
mother was
Oh
a chemist,
wait, Skunk.
literally.
Were you a cook too? Ever a chef?
I was.
See, we're all
I mean,
chefs.
it's a shitty job. That's a fact. One
Wanted to
thing I
work,
learned from
hate it,
learning it
hate
is
it.
that it's brutal on your body. So,
Oh yes.
Yeah, that's
um,
why part of the why reason I'm crippled
right,
today is I
right.
guarantee.
The
Your
only
feet
way
will
to do
never
that
quite be
job,
the same.
All
the
right.
only way to
I
do that
loved it.
job is on RSO.
Oh well.
I can
Now you tell me as I turn 55, 54.
yeah, yeah.
And
Like
I'm already broken.
there's a
Thank you.
reason there's all that snow in those kitchens all the
Ugh.
time.
Yeah, well,
Every
that's the
kitchen I've
problem.
been in that wasn't in
That was
prison was
my
full of
first
snow.
problem. It was my first kitchen I ever worked in. It snowed every fucking day.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god, it was so much
Because of
snow.
the pain involved and because the hustle is
Yeah.
there's
And
nothing
the
like it.
nonstop. You work every weekend. You work every holiday.
You
I
work
worked in a
nonstop,
I worked in a hospital, so I was working
and
in food service,
that's even worse.
serving patients. Yeah, and
Yeah, and you're
they
90% of
large
the time you're on
hospital.
concrete, and your
Right,
legs are getting
my
a beating,
back,
your
my
body's
legs,
getting a
my
beating.
body. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
RSO would have been
I
amazing.
wore
I did it for
nurse's
14
shoes
cents an
and I
hour.
wore
14 cents an hour, people.
I wore support hose and nurse's shoes when I was a chef,
Yeah.
and I only have one varicose vein.
Yeah, I
So
don't
I
have
had
very many varicose veins yet either, but
y'all
I
are making me jealous. I had prison issued shoes. I don't know if I left that part out. I got 14 cents an hour.
yeah,
It was
I
very
heard that.
You
I'm
told me,
sure.
yeah.
That's not
it
even
was
worse.
it
That's,
was brutal on my
that's
body, and then it taught me something. It taught me how to cook. I
but it
love
was the
that.
best job there too, right? So you wanted that
No,
job
no,
anyway. Oh, there was
actually,
better
No,
job than that.
you need a whole new show for the best
make it
job
worse.
there. You let me know when you want me to come back and talk about
We'll have you
prison.
on stuffed and uncensored when we get that one going.
Yeah, there you
Name.
go. I'll tell you all some stories if you want some real stories.
I've heard some of the stories. I know, and it's
These are stories involving famous people. Like
all right.
I
All
was
right. We're
I
gonna
was
have
in an
you on.
interesting place.
I got your number. I'm going to call you when we're ready for Stuffed and Uncensored. That's my next
Anytime.
podcast coming out.
Anytime.
All right. Keep your eye out for it, everybody.
Let your
Stuffed and
fingers do the walking. How old are we? Does everybody remember that?
right.
Oh, yeah. The yellow page.
One thing I want to talk about,
All right. Yeah. Go ahead.
Lainie, not only do you have people donate to you to help these veterans,
Mm.
but with the people that you know have a cooking background, have experience with the plant itself, you will teach them how to make their own RSO, their own RSO sugar, all
If I
kinds of
like
things
them.
you will teach them.
If I
Well,
like them. I'm so here's I don't mean to sound like that I am not that yes I am. I can't stand teaching people because like telling Granny is different because I know we're the same kind of person, but 99% of the time someone will want me to not only tell them how to do it, but like
Do it for you.
basically.
Yeah.
And it's like, or it didn't come out this way, and it's like it's
What did I
all
do
consuming. And I can't get into that in my life, it's
Right.
so very, very selectively I will tell
But it
someone what
is
they need to know. And also, I need to know that you're capable, because you could literally blow yourself up doing
You
this.
could. You
Oh
could.
yeah,
It's
no, we
not
don't
a
want to blow
safe
ourselves up.
process.
We here at WTHC Radio do not recommend blowing
No.
up yourself.
This
No.
is not for
No,
just anyone
this
to
is
do.
something that
I
someone
love
with
you, Rich.
experience
Right.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
really
needs
needs
to be
to do.
I'm
taken pretty
I'm
seriously.
already out. I'm already out. I'm not allowed to do it. I've already decided that I will
I
not be doing
I
it.
I take it, so it's like almost a burden to me in that regard. My shit has to be perfect. It started as medicine for me, so I couldn't afford it. I lost my job, right? So I had to figure out how I was going to continue to medicate, because that was scary. Realizing that I was going to face that darkness again. Like, once you come out of it,
Well,
you
that's
don't
what I was
want to
going to
go
say. Not to
back.
cut you off, I'm sorry, but you have to be, first off, you have to be able to be living in a state where you're able to grow your own and take care and maintain, and to have enough to be able to do what you want to do, to be able to maintain a lifestyle that you want to
To
live.
stay in accordance with the man structured law,
Right,
yes.
whatever your law is with your state. So, like, I can't
I,
even.
however, refused at this time. It was not recognized legal yet all the way here. And I'll tell you what, I'm so disgusted with the idea that someone's going to tell me I can't use a plant in its
I hate
natural
that.
form.
I hate that. I'm with you on that one, sister.
No, sorry.
That's
It's
crazy.
from God. It grows in the fucking, like, this
I
has
can't
been my
believe we've
whole
let them
life.
do this our whole life.
Our
I can't
whole
believe
life.
we've been getting
It's a
away with it.
fucking plant.
And you know what? If it didn't happen up where we're at now, it probably still would be. You know, we'd still letting them walk all over us.
So
Because
I refuse.
God
I
bless
do not
everybody,
concede.
and ourselves included, you know, that we're still here fighting the fight every day. We have to normalize it. If we don't normalize it, they're going to take it away from us again. They're going to, because
That's right.
dumbasses are out there doing stupid shit with it already. They're fucking it up.
I know.
Not passing tests. We had Summer Parker on 2 or 3 weeks ago, and she was telling us about testing Oklahoma and the testing of the buds and all that, and they're coming back with pesticides and chemicals. And
Oh, I saw it. California was like it.
crazy.
Vegas,
We can't get it right now. If we can't get it right now, the best thing they can do is just make it so that whoever wants to grow it can grow it, and they can grow their own and leave everybody the hell alone.
Let me tell you, we need to do it with our food. We need to do it with our weed. We need to do it with everything. Every street needs a cow, and everybody needs to stop going to the fucking store for everything. Really, I trust my neighbors. Well, certain ones.
Well, yeah.
I was just telling my friend, I said, when my money train comes through, we're not going to the big box stores. We're not going to the grocery store. We're going to the Amish. We're going 2 hours away to the Amish, and we're going to give those people our money, because they were there for North Carolina. They care about what they put in their bodies, and we should too. Man.
We'll get high together. Come on up.
Hey, I learned to grow some amazing stuff from Amish. So
you're right by me. How far from
neighbors.
Port Jervis are you?
I'm not. So Keith is from Port Jervis, just so you know.
Yeah, I'm like an hour. I'm like an hour from Port Jervis.
Yeah. So am I. We're probably. I'm 2 hours.
My wife actually works in up sometimes she'll work up in that Milford area up there.
Oh yeah, right. I know a lot of veterans that spent a lot of time in Tobyhanna. You know, up
I worked at Tobyhanna Army Depot for 10 years
at the base. Yeah,
I
they would go up
there.
there for surplus sales or some shit.
I used to cook there. Yeah.
See, this is such a small world.
It's a small world after all.
Even when we're not actual physical side by side neighbors, that's kind of the Operation Heal vibe. Is
hi Kelly.
Neighbors to come be neighbors again, and maybe some of us have some asshole neighbors like too close to us. I know I do, but I think the more we spread this message, and the more we help each other, the more we share a joint when somebody needs to calm their mind down,
to calm down, instead of telling them to go fuck themselves.
There's a reason that the human body has cannabinoid receptors.
Right.
in it.
The
We're born with
endocannabinoid
those.
system, the
And I
endocannabinoid.
plead with everyone to be the voice, especially, we all went through our partying phase in our 20s, and everybody loved to
Absolutely.
drink and everybody loved to,
Oh,
but I tell everyone, I don't try to tell anybody what to do. It's your fucking life. I don't care what you do. But when I
Right.
watched what alcohol did to that kid's brain, this brilliant, strong, athletic, determined brain fell apart in
yeah.
months. And to me, it was like, I don't even go near the shit. I was a
Oh, I
drinker
gave it up. I
too.
gave it up years ago. I gave it up. Everybody's like, "Why don't you drink any?" I was one of the professionals. I was
Yeah.
known as a
Tried.
king in my hood of drinking. I used to put. That's why the big guy is as big as he is, right? Big guy. Yeah, he said that. Yeah, he shook his head. Yes. Yeah, we used to drink a lot back in the day, and then I just gave it up. I said I'm tired of it. Especially as soon as they gave me the right to have this in my pocket on a regular basis, and I don't need to drink beer anymore, and I can wake up without a hangover and say,
Right.
you know what, I want to feel great right now. All right, I feel great right now. Let's
And
go. Today's the
and
day, and here we
to
go.
that note, that's exactly the difference. So when you eat too much RSO the day before or the night before, you
Still
wake
feel
up feeling rested. You
you
feel
feel groggy, but
relaxed.
And you
rested.
don't
Yeah,
have
well, if
pain
you're
for
grog,
several hours, and you're like,
you
what just
haven't slept long
happened?
enough if you're groggy. You need to
No,
go back to
but
bed if
I
you're
may have,
groggy.
like I said before, I may have overdid it those times where I was
Well,
groggy. Yeah, and I may have just because tonight I feel great and I feel like I'm gonna get a good night's sleep, and then in a little while, when I go wake up in the morning, I'll be refreshed. I feel refreshed. You're right.
right. So one of the things you brought up was the horrible taste. And for me,
Yeah.
that was a big deal at first. I
Ooh,
grew to like it. It is like once it heals your body so many times, it's like so many other things. Your system says, "Oh, we kind of like this taste because it means that we're going to feel good soon." So it's not as bad if you force yourself to take it. Women will have an easier time of this. Women and certain types of men probably. I shouldn't be that, but you gals know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you have to swallow shit you don't want to, and it's a little gross. But anyway, I
I
digress.
have to do that. I'm married 25 years. My wife is the cook because I hate to cook now because I cooked most of my life. She's probably going to come in here and beat my ass right now, but oh boy, do I have to swallow some horrible shit. Ugh.
Aw,
That's what they're
But
talking
it's
about,
made
man.
with love, man. It's
I
made
don't
with love.
I don't
Oh,
think
yes,
that's
it
where I
is.
was going with it.
Oh, no, I
But
thought you
it's
meant like
okay.
no, I just thought bad tasting stuff in general. All right, go ahead.
So the reason I wanted all of my products are a low heat process. I wanted to preserve the medicinal
Look at
properties
this,
of the
Grateful
plant.
Ted.
And you can't really preserve medicinal properties and make candy. You can't make a lollipop and preserve the medicinal properties of the RSO. You'll get high, but you won't do much else for yourself,
Mhm.
And a lot of people do take RSO to deal with their cancer or other ailments. So I didn't want to prostitute it. So I work very low heat with everything. And Funny Dip is one of my most popular products because it tastes pretty fucking good. And it was all by accident,
I
man.
know
All of this
not
was
what you speak of, but I am looking
um
so forward to trying that.
oh, you
Not
haven't
what
tried
you're
it yet.
No,
So
no,
um
ma'am. But that's what I wanted to kind of talk to you about is as a large man like myself, the big guy over here, um, and you've heard his dosage. What would you recommend for Funny Dip? Do I just drink the sugar in my mouth out the
no,
bag?
here's the fun thing about Funny Dip.
Okay.
It's very much sublingual. If you don't eat it, like dump it into your gullet. The spacey dust is more for dumping. I didn't have any to send you. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Um,
I wasn't
but
saying that.
but the spacey dust is like pixie dust meets Fun Dip meets pop rocks.
Okay.
That's the best way to
It's
describe
fun.
it.
Well, let
It's
me
really
ask you a
fun.
question, okay, I saw the lollipop. Thank you very much.
So
Now
you dip it,
that's like a fun dip kind of thing. Like lick
right?
it, stick it in there. But then
That's
then
your
the bag
dipstick.
becomes. I mean, of course, the bag is mine anyway. But I mean,
It should be.
but then like, am I done? Then should I just eat the whole bag with the lollipop and just
Well,
and then I'll be all right
most
at
of
the
the
end?
time, your body will tell you if you should be done or not, because
Yeah,
if
that's what
if
they
you
say
don't
about
if you don't
food
shovel
too.
it
And
in, if you
I'm
eat it like you're 7 and you're watching cartoons and you're eating your fun dip bag, because
like Granny
it's
does over there.
it's kind of a
Her
walk down
time.
memory lane in that regard. I wanted to have some nostalgia too. Oftentimes, again, I was out of stuff. I haven't had that many donations, and if I may shamelessly plug myself, if
Oh,
you guys want to
absolutely,
help out,
please.
Please.
Shamelessly.
I had $80 in shipping alone for vet packs last week, and all of this money pretty much comes from either my sales or donations. It's been a tight start
Give me
to the
your.
year.
Can you tell me your cash
Oh,
app? Or
so my Cash App is $sign
give me 1 second.
LAINIE.
Give me 1 second. Hold on.
I'd
Dollar
like to see you
sign
type. Is
LAINIE.
AI. Yep. ANNE.
ANNE. That's it.
That's it.
And what about your PayPal, honey? For people that have
So
PayPal.
it's magicbalm@gmail.com. It's MAGICKBALM@gmail.com. And then it'll come up on your receipt as Triple Acres Healing Farm. One of the reasons for that is we needed something a little more legitimate.
CK.
CK bomb
BALM
BALM.com
@gmail.com.
at gmail.
.com.
All right, now we got them there.
So
Great.
that's how I send vet packs out, is through
It's either
sales
could have
of
given
my products and donations. All are very appreciated. But basically, what goes out in a vet pack is some of everything I have at the time. It varies. I did a special thing for Christmas where I sent 25 packs out. Mostly flowers in those, and hot chocolate. The hot chocolate, you said you had an opportunity to try.
I did, young lady. I did. Now, I took 3 of my home tablespoons and used it. And
Okay.
it was, I'm going to say, it was probably, I hate to say this, but it was probably the right amount.
That's good.
If I was to be if I was to be mature about it, if I were going to be a
He had
mature
no pain.
adult.
He had
I
no
didn't have-
pain,
I
which
had
was
no
the first
pain.
thing he said.
Yeah, I had no pain, and I felt happy.
Yes.
I didn't
And
feel
that's
happy.
what it's supposed to do. So
But I
if you
felt
want
happy.
to if you want to be more elevated than normal, then you would increase your dose. It's not, you have to increase your water also. You just basically want to take some more in is all. But the difference is, and I've heard this from many people, and I think I experience it the same way. The hot beverage has a different uptake. It has a different effect. The sugar, the fun dips and the spacey dust, different uptake, different effect. And did you get to play with your cold beaver yet?
No, I haven't touched my beavers yet. No, I
Okay.
did.
You're gonna love those beavers. I'm telling you, they're
Cold
my
beaver,
favorite.
I have not touched my frozen beaver. Like I said, I had a bad case of the norovirus
Yeah,
the last
that's
8 or so
awful.
days. In fact, it still might even be lingering because I've had some earlier issues today. I was like, oh, this is still really
It takes a little while to get over it.
yeah. The belly was still churning, and
You
it
need
just was not ready
to
to
get
eat
yourself. So I don't just focus on weed. I try to help people with whatever makes sense for them
general
to be
health
helped with.
and well-being.
And what you need is to get some probiotics in you. And if you'll tolerate dairy, eat some yogurt every day for the next week or so. And if
Yeah.
you don't tolerate dairy, take some kombucha tea or something like that. get your gut right again, because anytime you go through an episode
Well,
like that,
I'm in
it
the middle
throws
of
your gut
gut
way
health
off.
issues already. I think so.
Well, then you need to be doing regular prebiotics and probiotics, because my husband goes through similar problems, and he finally listened to me, and now he feels a lot better. So, or you could ignore me like he did for the last 16 years and suffer.
Well, ignoring my wife for about 25, so we'll see how it goes. No, I trust you more. Actually,
Well, I don't want that title either. I don't need no heat from the bitches. Okay, I bring my own heat as it is. Okay.
Well, at least you know her first name.
I mean, no disrespect. I just want everybody to get along. Your wife is who you live with, and that's who you should listen to.
Shh, don't remind me. All right. Back to the show. So, no, I did not get to put my freezer beaver into the beaver yet. I mean, into the freezer, but I am looking forward to it. Now, that's another thing. Do I put it back in after I've drank half of it and said I'm fucked up, or do I drink the whole thing on that one?
Refresh my memory. Did I send you a super strong beaver?
Me a big old purple one. It's cute as hell. Right
Does
here.
it say super strong beaver on it though?
Yes. Slushy, super strong beaver. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then I mean, based on what you told me already about the hot cocoa and your imbibing, I would just take the whole thing, and relax the night away. So the best way to do it, it should be refrigerated or frozen. It does say that on there. It's not going to go bad on you in a few days.
All right, I'm freezing in here, so
it's not going to grow bacteria or anything like that. But I prefer
people on having it immediately. But like I said, my belly was growing bacteria, so I was like, maybe I'll wait a little while.
Depending on your freezer, I don't know what it's like. If you have a really cold freezer, throw it in there for 4 hours. It'll be pliable still, and it'll be very much a slush. You can leave it in there and squish it still. It's just, if I have arthritic hands, so I like to do it right before I eat it.
All right. I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah, I should have did this one tonight because my belly is feeling a little better. I might still. Is it? No, maybe I should. Is it an indica or is it a sativa?
Oh, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I was gonna say because, no, I guess they tell me on my packages of my RSO, they'll say.
So here's my favorite thing to tell people, because I get perturbed a little bit. So if it's Rick Simpson oil, if it's being called RSO Rick Simpson oil, it should be an indica, because that was Rick Simpson's process, and it was very specific for treating his cancer.
Anything that says RSO Rick Simpson oil and a sativa is
not true.
It's basically hash oil. It's basically hash oil.
It's what back in the day they used to call black tar hash.
Oh yeah. Or hash oil, which I used to smoke a lot of when I was a young child.
And there's nothing wrong with hash oil. It's just if we're talking specifically about Rick Simpson oil, that was a very specific process. He wanted people to make their own.
Flying high right now on a whole shitload of hash oil. Because I am flying.
With that in mind, all of my products are based in indica dominant or indica strains. Okay. I have been varying the strain for about 6 months, and I like it. It's giving people better effect because they're not building too much of a tolerance. So that's one thing I will say. I used just one strain for the first year or so, and it was great, but everyone built a tolerance, and it's inevitable.
You have to. I mean, that's all upon your ability to take care of your own business, and that's why it's beautiful that you live in the state that you live in, because at least they gave you the ability. It's not the greatest ability. I mean, I wish it was 12, but whatever. 6.
So I vacated the state when it was illegal, because I was so desperate to just be able to fucking medicate and not have to be in fear of going to jail over the shit, you know?
Yeah, but I
And
mean, let me ask you a question. You when you say that in fear of going to jail, I mean, we did it all our lives, and then all of a sudden at the end there, you got a little more fear, anxiety, or
here's fun fact.
go
I
ahead.
I did 2.5 years
Oh,
maximum
I
security
forgot about
prison,
that whole prison thing. Yeah, I
and
sorry. Yeah.
and I didn't actually smoke weed. I actually didn't like it in my youth. I got a laced joint early on in
Oh,
my experience,
angel dust.
and it was a bad vibe for me, so I stayed away from it until into my 30s, really. I smoked some here and there, but because of my probation in my prison, I really avoided it. And then when I started using it for medication on a regular basis, uh, I really didn't feel easy about transporting it. And I had
Yeah,
lived
I get it.
in more dangerous states than New York. I had been in Virginia for a brief period.
Yeah,
That was terrifying.
yeah, I'm
I mean,
sure.
the South really hates the plant. Like, it's incredible. And the price reflects that. You know, down there I was spending $400 on an ounce, and at the time
Yeah,
in New York it was like 250, 300. So, but once it went legal here, you know, things changed. But I went all the way to Vegas like an idiot. I don't make good decisions sometimes.
yeah.
And
Welcome to my
and
world.
it was legal there. It was newly legal. I wanted to see what it was like, and I didn't want to do the Colorado or Cali thing. I wanted something different. So I picked Sin City like a maniac and find out all kinds of other shit when I get there. But the weed scene was beautiful, and the way they handled the introduction of legality was very nice. It was well done. They put the money into the schools first from that they generated in revenue.
As
And
it
it
should
was
be, I
really
feel.
I
it was a
agree.
really good weed vibe all around. You know, it wasn't too much, it wasn't too little. There were cops at the dispos. It was a buying, not guarding. They were
Right.
in there buying their shit, and everybody accepted it right away and treated you respectfully, like you weren't looked at funny. In New York, they didn't roll out the dispos. They rolled out everybody was doing illegitimate shit here. It was the
I
funniest thing
know.
you ever
I
saw.
I I I feel as like they're still doing
They're
illegitimate
still
stuff.
doing it. They're still doing it. And
There
it's
you
because New
Technically,
York
there are
had
9 legal dispensaries in New York, not counting reservations, but there's
right.
now that doesn't mean that they don't have 75 locations throughout the whole state of New
And that's
York,
what happened.
but there
So
are so many bodegas and delis and smoke shops and gas stations selling things that replicate marijuana or kind of look or smell like marijuana, but they might not necessarily
exactly.
be marijuana. And that's the stuff that's getting to our kids. That's the stuff that is getting to the kids' heads. Then we get this stuff where all of a sudden now we're throwing up from marijuana, which I never heard of until we started getting fake shit from places and like gas stations and bodegas. And sorry, I didn't mean to get on my soapbox. Go ahead, young
No,
lady.
no, you're absolutely right. And what New York did was they said, give us $1 million and we're gonna give preference to minorities, to women, to this, to that. So a friend of the family's not in a derogatory fashion or anything. They're a friend of the family. I have a lot of respect for the dude. He's Hindi, and he came here with his relatives who own gas stations, who started with gas stations and who have a very strict family rule where they bring each other over, help each other get their own business going, and then bring someone else. Well, his sister-in-law, his wife, his other sister all got the dispo licenses, okay? Because who has $1 million? Not many people, you
I'm,
know. So
I ain't
so
got $1 million.
and then they did it legally on one side, and then at the same gas stations they were selling the other shit, and it
Right
was
out
the
the back
same
door.
garbage in both
And I'm
places,
not,
you
and
know.
yeah, and not to pick on them or anybody else, but it's not
No,
just
but
them. It was I went into, the same thing on Long Island. I went into delis and I've seen, regular American Italian deli, and they're doing the same thing out the back door.
oh
And
yeah,
you got the pop brownies up here on the top shelf for $25 a pop brownie. Who's, like I said in the past, I don't trust any pop brownie that's going to be in a deli, because you don't know if they're stirring it with the old pinky or their winky.
That's right.
I got news for you. If it's in New York City, it's probably the worst weed in the world, and it's loaded with crap.
And there was a lot of seeds, sticks, and stems, if I remember correctly, when I left there. That's what it was like. Anyway,
but really, like, there's nobody. So I started this to medicate myself, and that's what Rick Simpson wanted people to do, because he knew that other people would succumb to greed and cut corners and do the wrong things in the interest of making money. So you make your own, you medicate yourself. That was the idea behind Rick Simpson's process.
Well.
And he made it available to people. So, and I had learned about it years ago, and my biggest concern had been cancer. I had cancer on my arm. I had a lot of issues with sunspots and weird things
Under
going
the family, I'm sure.
So I said, well, I would really like to try this for my arm and see how it does. And that was kind of where my head was with the shit. And it did work. It did.
I've heard amazing things. Like we said before, Facebook, we're not doctors. We're just saying what we've heard. We've heard
what we've seen for ourselves, but what worked for us doesn't necessarily work for everybody else.
No, everyone is different.
Right.
And like I said, what I did for myself, maybe everyone needs to put that effort in, because maybe doing it for yourself is part of the healing process.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. The hardest part for me is I want to do it for myself. I want to learn, and I can't, because they won't allow me to grow in my state. And they have their thumb on my forehead, and I'm stuck. I have to go to a dispensary and pay outlandish prices for crap.
Pennsylvania is really screwing people,
and I can't even see it. I can't see it. I can't smell it. I can't touch it. I can only just say, yes, that one over there, and then they give it to me. And when I leave, I get home and I say, oh, this is disgusting. Yes, and I agree with Rich over there. F cancer. All right, guys. Lainie, it's been over an hour. I want to thank you so much.
Yes.
I want to thank you.
Time went so fast. We can have you back again anytime you want. We could make a weekly show out of this if you wanted to. I mean,
I'm into it, man. I'm into it.
Let's talk. We can get you on here on a regular basis and talk about this stuff. I would love it. I hate cutting it short, because it was going so well, but after an hour, everybody you lose them. They don't really watch it anymore.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
All right, you sure? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm positive. No,
listen. Tell everybody how they can get in touch with you. Your stuff was amazing. I'm going to continue to try it. I'm going to try it.
I highly recommend it myself.
The things you do are absolutely amazing. That's what I wanted to touch on as well. Because like you were saying before, you don't like to spread the gospel of the giggle, but you don't want to give your recipe away to just anybody. And I agree, because it shouldn't just be anybody that's able to do it. First of all, you could get hurt. And second of all, that wouldn't, no, we don't want anybody to get hurt. And then we don't want you to feel responsible if somebody were to get hurt. That being said, oh, now it's gone. Fuck. Great. It's gone.
It happens to all of us.
For a second.
You're golden. You're golden.
Yeah. So what I wanted to say is that, no, I almost came back, but then it was gone again. Sorry.
It's okay.
We would love to have you back.
Yeah.
There's
absolutely.
so much more of this to explore.
Right. But
so much more.
Oh, absolutely. We could talk about this for days, and more days. I want to thank you again so very much for being here.
Thanks are mine to give.
Yeah, no. Why don't you tell everybody again how they can get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with you? I got your name going across, guys, right there. Write it down. It's $ Lainie, Lainnie, ANNE. $1, $2, just $1 a day can save a veteran. Just remember.
So fun fact, the average cost to send a vet pack out is $25. That is my base cost to make the pack and put it together. I include flowers in every pack. I try to include at least 10 to 14 grams, whatever you want to call it.
Grandmas.
And these go out at no cost to these guys. These are for veterans that are in crisis that have no
Can
money.
you give me a rough idea of how many? Do you have like a regular number of people that you care for on a regular basis? Like you've been doing this
So
for how long
it
now?
it ebbs and
Many.
flows around the holidays.
Yeah.
It was serious, you know.
Yeah,
During certain
absolutely,
times of the year,
because
it gets worse.
right.
Last week, I sent out 6 packs. Out of those 6, 3 really needed them. They were in a bad place. So on average, though, I've reached out to over 300 veterans in the last year and a half.
Well,
Um,
I don't know.
there
what to tell
most
you.
of them don't like to ask, so I have a list that I just send packs to when I feel the need is there. You know, a lot of it is
I
whether
might have
it's
to tell you something.
right that
I'm sorry.
it's from the other side or someone's
I shared
pointing
it.
their
I'm a member of a lot of 420 veteran groups. And
awesome.
I've been
Share
sharing
her
with them
information. Yeah,
all
absolutely.
week. I've been sharing
Very
stuff, so
important that they tell me you sent them or the referral came from someone I can trust because I do get a little
yeah.
And I have referred
curious
I have
about that.
referred quite a few people to Lainie.
Well,
And
all my
And of course,
referrals from
everything
here
I
on
do
out
is within
will
New York
definitely
State
be
law. I don't do anything outside of New York State law, you know, and
right,
exactly.
anyone has to be 21 and over and
of
all of
course,
that good stuff.
of course.
But you know what I'm doing, and I'm not charging money, so technically New York says I can do that.
Right.
So,
That's
but
why
it
it's
is something
important to
that
write
is
those
not
names down.
always.
Now. Yeah.
It
I'm
can
sorry.
be frowned on, so we try to be more cautious. Please have them say you referred them, or
Yep.
whoever the referral came from. Someone I know
You guys
is
over
where I'm
there
most
heard
comfortable.
that. You guys out there that are gonna watch this in the morning. You guys heard that. Tell her. Tell
And
her.
I can smell bacon a mile away, and the feds know it. So if they want to try and
We've been
infiltrate, it
running
won't
from
work. It
bacon
hasn't
for
worked yet.
years, man. We
That's
know
right.
5-0. We know 5-0. Yeah,
That's
we ain't,
right.
we ain't no fools. All right. I want
Absolutely
to
right.
thank you again, Lainie.
Thank
We'll
you.
have you back ASAP.
I love you
Granny,
guys.
I love you.
And
Skunky,
thank
thank you so
you for
much.
the comments. Thank you for being here. It was
Oh,
Thank
amazing.
It
you.
was a great show. Thank you so,
Thank
so
Love you
very
guys.
much. All right, everybody. We'll have a great
I'll
night
catch you
and
guys later.
see you soon. Bumping Uglies Tuesday afternoon at noon. Tuesday afternoon
Heck
at
yeah.
noon, the 11th. Bumping Uglies is going to come hang out with us in the green room. Everybody have a great night. Peace.
Smoke up in the green room. Smoke your worries away. In the green room we'll stay. In the green room. Smoke up in the green room. Smoke your worries away. In the green